Hi guys, Hugh here from Square Labs. Today I'm going to take you through a video tutorial on how we can enhance our Zoho CRM web forms. So we're going to show you how you can pre-fill data as well as get the location of the person submitting the form. Now this is not to be confused with the Zoho forms. CRM web forms are only inside Zoho CRM and this sort of functionality does not come natively. And with that, let's get into it. On this web page here, we've got a bunch of form fields that we want the user to populate, and then that will get sent through to Zoho CRM. We have an interested in field here, which has got the handyman service they're interested in. We've also got a state and country field here that we would like to be filled in, and these all help with our assignment rules. What we want to do though is if we could pre-fill interested in based on where they've navigated to the contact form from the website, that will save the user having to do that. We can also pre-fill the state and country fields, or even better, hide them so that the user doesn't have to even see them. So first of all, we need to go across to have a look here at what it's going to look like. I can click on one of these call to action buttons. So carpentry, for example, if I click contact us, we're navigating to the contact us form, but you can see here carpentry is being pre-filled by this URL parameter. I'm also getting the user's IP address and calling a free API that tells me the location of that IP address. Now, as we know, that country field might be a bit different if users are using like a VPN or something, so it kind of sometimes provide inaccurate data. To provide more accurate data, we can though use the browser geolocation API. So you have to ask the user's permission. They would have to go allow, and when they do, we would update the country based on their location, but we can also get other granular data such as their state because we are getting their latitude and longitude coordinates. Once we've filled out those data that's pre-filled in here, we've now got everything that we need to submit through without the user having to pre-fill, or sorry, without the user having to enter interested in or their state and country. And this could even be better now is we can hide those fields for state and country and we don't even need to worry about it. To do this, we need to start with our web forms. So we go to our web forms, and under our web forms here, we're going to create a new web form up here, or we're going to go and select an existing one that we've already got. We need to click the edit button, and you can see here we've got a bunch of fields that we're going to populate. We've got lead source, which is website. I've got that hidden and defaulting. However, I've got interested in here, state and country. Now I plan to hide the country field so I can get it based on their IP address or their location and click save. I know that it says unknown, but that will get updated by the function code. And then we can go next. We can fill in our required data here, so our locations, our actions, any assignments, etc. Click save. But what we're interested in here is this source code that's spit out. We click copy. We're going to go to any sort of HTML editor. I'll link this one in the description. We can just copy and paste it into this, delete that and copy and paste it in here. And then you can gather the code that I've provided in the description. There's a link to it in the description. We're going to navigate in this code here to the bottom script tag here. Just click enter. I like to add a little couple of comments so I can find it again, and then click paste. Once we've pasted the code in here, we are ready to go. So we have a parameter field map here. So we've got the interested in one here, which I've got, and that's finding lead CF1, which is the ID of the lead, the interested in field inside the form. Now to get that ID, we need to just navigate up into our code, and you'll find here that this field interested in, there's a label for lead CF1, which is the ID. So this select field here, the ID of that field is lead CF1. So we're going to populate that in that map. Now the other one I had here was website. So if I go up and we can see we've got the website values here that are all pre-filled. I might want to put the lead source ID of that one and populate it based on a location that they've navigated to there externally. So down here in our function code, we just need to go source, and then we can add in the ID of that particular field in the code. So that will then, if that source parameter is passed in the URL, we will update the lead source. This one function here all populates the data. We then have another function here which is getting the country's IP address. Now we call a free IP API, which just
finds the location of the IP address and returns the country's name here for us. It does provide other data such as, the state, etc., but it can be a bit inaccurate, which is why we sort of look at that geolocation API, which is a bit more accurate. The geolocation one, which is setting it based on their location. First of all, we're getting the country's IP address just to get rid of that unknown and populate some data into that country field. If they approve that we can use the location, we then go through and get their latitude and longitude provided back to us. We then reverse geocode that through the OpenStreetMap API, and we get their country and state out of that. Now you can get some more granular data, obviously, out of this latitude and longitude. Just be wary of the user privacy. As you scroll down here, we've got our window.onload, and that is just going to run these two functions as the website loads up. So we want to prefill our URL parameters, and we're going to set our country based on their location. If you're not using one of these, we can just comment them out, for example. I've also got detailed in my blog how you can do each of these different functions on their own. You don't have to do all of them in the one. Once you've got all this, we just click and copy our code. We're going to we're using Zoho Sites as our demo site. So in our contact page, we need to put a HTML snippet in. We just click here, we want to edit that snippet, copy and paste the code in here, and then we can just click save. Once we've saved that, we're going to go and check our services page here. We've got our buttons. This will be different for your website editor, but you'll see here you've got a link, and you need to just change a link so that you're passing through the parameter for each of them. So you need to set this parameter in each of the links to be based on whatever you want to pass through. Once that's done, all we have to do is go to our website, refresh. We can see it's still got that interested in carpentry up here. It's pre-filled Australia based on my IP address location. If I allow them to access my GPS or geolocation API, it will then populate it with the state. Just remember, we can also add that and symbol and go source equals advertisement. Now we can then populate that source field. And now if I fill this out, I can pass through a message through to the CRM by clicking submit. It says our team will be in touch with you soon. Now if we navigate across to our leads page here, do a little refresh, you see here we've got our lead source came from an advertisement, country is Australia, state South Australia, and our interested in is carpentry.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you got a fair bit out of that one. Just keep in mind that each website builder operates slightly differently. So if you do need any assistance with this sort of stuff, feel free to reach out in the comments. And with that, have a good one. Catch you in the next video.